Apple moves some of its factories out of China. Arizona courts move to a digital evidence platform. Cisco makes it easier to fight fires, and the experience of a driverless taxi in Phoenix. All that and more next on The Computer Doctor Show.
You're listening to The Computer Doctor Show, your source for technology subjects affecting your business and personal life during this new normal. Your host is an award-winning office technician and IT specialist, author, tutor, ethical hacker, and recent winner on localbest.com as the best computer shop in Tucson. Broadcasting live, here's Aaron Moss.
Hello, Tucson. Welcome to the Computer Doctor Show, episode 30. I'm Aaron Moss, your host. Good to have you with us every Saturday at 2 p.m. right here on KVOI 1030 The Voice and streaming live on kvoi.com. Our open lines, 520-790-2040. Feel free to call in anytime with your comments and questions. We have an awesome show for you today. Are self-driving taxis a thing of the future or the present? Our live guest today will be able to give us an experience that only a few have experienced with a taxi cab that has no driver, a technology available right here in Arizona. But first, our top tech news stories this week. For decades, Apple has been manufacturing iPads and MacBooks in China. However, later this year, manufacturing may move to Vietnam and India. Also, current iPhone 12 manufacturing in India is set to increase this year as well. The move from China to Vietnam and India is the first time a major manufacturer will move out of China. Smart speakers, earphones, and computers are set to move out of China as well as part of Apple's diversity strategy. Malaysia is also part of the mix, manufacturing Mac Minis. The move out of China is also a growing fad to stabilize the market, reduce Chinese dependency, ensure speedy transport without the red tape of a single region, and cost of labor increasing in China. Who would have thought? Drones and Cisco are being used by some fire departments in Henderson, Nevada, just outside of Las Vegas. The technology also allows live views of scenes and video feed to be shared with fire commanders or emergency operations centers and offices that need, many of which are in a remote location, to better manage critical situations. The video feed can also come from drones that are already being used in fire departments across the country, but their sharing of live video footage from different points of view is key to making the necessary judgments from a bird's eye view. Fire departments in Henderson love it, and they claim that they've used the technology multiple times a week and can cut down on travel times as well. And we're always going to keep you updated on emergency technology. The justice system here in Arizona is the first in the United States to use the Thomson Reuters cloud storage platform, specifically designed to store evidence from police departments to courtroom. Since court sessions are held virtually now due to COVID-19 on video conference, now video and picture evidence can be shared in its original format directly from its source. Police departments can even collect evidence on the same platform that eventually will end up in court to be seen by those that need to know. Since most photograph and video evidence is on digital format already, it only makes sense for it to remain in digital format and be shared through a platform. Currently here in Tucson, whenever you have video or photo evidence, the police departments usually want the footage from its original source, and this ensures that that nothing is ever tampered with, and it's usually best to be enhanced by professionals. Now, they say that sci-fi is the inspiration of the future. Many things that are developed on film and movies using trick photography, cinematography, and other special effects gives the technology industry something to shoot for. Some of my shows that I enjoyed growing up, Knight Rider, The Jetsons, the 007 movies with Sean Connery, that is, to name a few. Those shows and movies no doubt inspired technologies that are now not just in our future, but sometimes even in our present. On our show today, our guest is on the phone who has some experience who's actually taken a ride in a taxi cab with no driver through a service called Waymo. So, Gino, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here, and I'm actually with my family, too. I got my wife and my daughter, who also accompanied me on the ride.
Oh, that's great. That's great. Hello, family. Thank you for being on the show with us today. So you were in Phoenix. Now, how long ago was this? You were in Phoenix and you got into this Waymo. So tell us about that.
This was in November. We were actually part of the early rider program, but we can't talk about that because we signed a non-disclosure.
Okay.
But back in November, early November, they started allowing people to ride publicly with no driver behind the seat. And we were invited to take a ride, so we did. We just had to experience that.
So where exactly did you go?
So this is in Chandler. Right now, it's a really, really small area in Chandler because it's actually expanded a little further beyond that. But with the actual driver list, it's a real small area. So we took it to an ice cream shop. We went to Rewind Ice Cream in Chandler. Before that, me and my wife actually took it and used it as a designated driver list. It took us out for dinner and drinks, which was nice. We went to Nando's, and from there we went to another bar and then took it back.
That's interesting. A designated driver list. So if people need a ride because they can't drive, they can call one of these Waymo taxi cabs that are only available in a certain area of Chandler, Arizona, right? So
yeah, fortunately, we're lucky enough that it's in our neighborhood. So we're going to be taking advantage of that quite frequently.
Okay. Were you guys charged? Like, how much did it cost? Was there a cost involved at the time that you did this?
There was a cost involved, and it was very similar to using Uber. In fact, the platform is very similar as well. But here's the best part about it. You don't have to tip anybody, so it's actually a little less expensive.
No tip. Well, okay.
No tip. You don't have to
Excellent.
talk to anybody.
Yeah, there's no talking, no smoking. You don't have to tell them to turn off the radio or anything.
No
Excellent.
smelling that rural country cologne. Sometimes you get in some weird cabs.
Okay. But you lose that human interaction. Yeah, some people kind of like that. So here's the next question. Did you feel safe or did any problems occur?
Did you guys feel safe?
Yeah.
Yeah, I felt safe too. In fact, so when we were driving it, you're looking out the window, you look at other drivers, and they got their phones in their faces, and that bothers me a lot, and that's probably the greatest part about this technology is it's going to make the roads somewhat safer in that regard.
Right, because this is all AI technology, that kind of thing, that's actually driving this vehicle, making turns, signaling, evading traffic situations that would normally be handled by a human, but now it's being held by computers. So when it was going through these intersections, so obviously it would automatically stop at red lights, it would make turns, right? And it would drop you off at a safe location at this ice cream shop that you went to, right?
Well, see, that's the downside of it. The pickup and drop-off locations need improvement. The actual ride itself is smooth. The acceleration is smooth. The braking is smooth. Felt very safe in that regard. But where it does need work is the pickup and drop-off locations. And I think it's just going to be a while before they get that tweaked and dialed in.
Okay, so the pickup and drop-offs locations. So like, so when it dropped you off for ice cream, what was happening there?
So it dropped us off on the main road. Now we do get out on the sidewalk side, but it was kind of far from the place. It's about 100 yards. And when it's cold and you're paying for a ride, you don't want to walk that kind of distance if it's raining. So that's the downside. But I could, they're going to be making improvements on that, of course, especially when people give their feedback on that.
But you see, the interesting thing about that is the if you give a computer an address, this kind of goes back to the use of GPS. For example, if you put in an address, okay, it'll take you to that address, but it's not going to take you up to the front door. Now, there could be a large parking lot. Let's say that you're going into a hospital. Now, obviously, hospitals are really, really large places where you can go. if it gives you the address, okay, it's going to drop you off at the address at the street, okay? It's not going to know what door to pull you up at, or it may or may not have an actual pickup drop-off point. I know that some airports and large facilities, they have designated. I did this when I had to get a Lyft Uber from Phoenix Airport. They actually had a Lyft and Uber section, a section in the pickup drop-off area that actually was designated just for that purpose. So,
I can see things going that way.
Yeah,
that would be definitely a good solution.
Yeah, and navigating parking lots and a lot of things about this technology is if there is ever construction, how is the car going to take directions from a police officer, probably maybe because a traffic light is out? Is it going to know that the hand movements of someone authorized to actually direct them through a traffic situation? So
I think. Well, I was going to say, I think at that point, they just take control over at the dispatch center because they're constantly monitoring these, and if there's any kind of issue, they can take control.
It's kind of interesting thinking that that there's somebody someplace else in some video game type of situation with the steering wheel someplace else that's driving you someplace. But wow, that was quite an experience. How did you? Now I noticed you said that you can't. There are some things that you can't share with us. But how did you find out about the Waymo service originally?
I think I saw an advertisement for it on Facebook, and we see them all the time here. And it mentioned something about the early rider program, so I inquired about it, and it was a lengthy process to get onboarded. Mm-hmm. And they interviewed the three of us actually, and we were chosen, and it was cool. It was a good experience. Wow, what a thing!
What a thing to be chosen for. All right.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much, Gino, for that experience, and we appreciate you taking that ride and also sharing that experience. Anybody else that wants to ride on the Waymo service, you can download the Waymo app on the App Store, the Play Store. It's out there. You can just download it and actually start using it. I actually have it down on my phone right now, and I'm waiting for my next time that I'm going to be in Chandler, and I'm going to get into a taxi with no driver.
Can I tell you something?
Really quick.
So my daughter goes to ASU, and they actually use autonomous technology as well for food delivery. What's that called?
The Starship Robots.
Starship Robots. Okay. Mm-hmm. I will look that up.
Similar technology. Can you explain it real quick?
Yeah, so they have an app, and there's these different restaurants on campus that you can order from. And you just order on the app, and then the robots come, they carry the food in them, and they go all around campus, and they bring you the food to wherever you are. And you just see them all the time. Like when you're walking to class, there'll be robots everywhere. They know to stop to wait to cross the. It's pretty cute. And like if you're walking towards them, they'll like go around you, and they just come with their food, and then.
You know what? We might have to give you your own segment on our next show. So I'll be in touch with your dad there. Thank you very much, Gino and family, for being with us today.
Thanks you.
For having us.
Up next on the Computer Doctor Show, Online Protection 101, our open lines, 520-790-2040. For your questions on that interview, and we'll be listening to the Computer Doctor Show on KVY 1030 Tucson live. We'll be right back after this quick break. Don't go away.
Ugly Goose Car Rental is new in Tucson, providing a low-cost auto rental alternative for just $100 per week. The only catch? The cars are ugly, but very safe and reliable to get you to work, school, shopping, and all your important appointments. To reserve your $100 a week car rental, call Ugly Goose Car Rental at 520-261-0439. Again, 520-261-0439.
Perfect Look Photography is a photography business that serves individuals, families, wedding parties, children's parties, quinceañeras, and family reunions. We also do headshots for actors and model portfolios. We photograph all types of events in Tucson and communities in Pima and Santa Cruz counties. In addition, we provide more types of photos than any photographer in Tucson, including green screen, art photography, montages, and DVD slideshows. We provide great photos at great prices. For more information or to get a quote, please call 499-4209.
Solar is popping up all over town. Why? Because solar just makes sense. Say goodbye to expensive summer electricity bills. Call or text Julie Festerling at Icon Power, 520-307-1013. Avoid the new 7.9% price increase with the utility company. Call Julie at 520-307-1013. Icon Power will help you take control of your electric bill.
Computer Doctor of Tucson is the best choice in desktop support in Tucson. They fix error messages, power and boot problems, install of software and hardware, and much more. You can come to them, or they can come to you, or even have a remote support session so they can fix your issues over the phone quickly. Give them a call at 261-5508, 261-5508. Visit them on the web at computerdoctortucson.com. Computer Doctor of Tucson, because technology is great when it works.
Welcome back to the Computer Doctor Show. Last Sunday marked the anniversary of Apple's first Macintosh computer, released in January 24th, 1984. It was a box-shaped system, 7.8 megahertz on the CPU speed, 128 kilobyte RAM, a 9-inch CRT screen, and it weighed 16 pounds. We've come a long way, but happy anniversary to the Macintosh. On this next segment on this radio program is called Online Protection 101, because I'm on a mission to keep the public informed and safe online and to reduce the victim count of online crimes. We're going to consider 2 or 3 cybersecurity tips today, and ultimately a book with all the tips will become available for purchase. The last time we did this segment, we had discussed number 45, which was passwords for security questions. Number 46 was to check your router for device connections, and number 47 to use temp emails. And you can go back into some of our video archives on computerdoctorshow.com to look at the content for those tips. These next 3 tips were up to number 48, and that is to beware of links in emails. Emails are still one of the best and number one ways that hackers and viruses can get into your computer. They will send you an email that looks like something that you would want to open. It could be something about maybe a purchase that was just canceled, or maybe a link about to get updates on a package that you're receiving or something. And they can craft these emails in any way that they want to make you push a button. And they can be extremely crafty and extremely imaginative in these types of emails. These emails have to meet a certain criteria in order to bypass the spam filter of your email system too. So when they're crafting these, they make sure that they avoid language that can trip or trigger a filter, so that they make sure that it arrives in your actual email inbox and not your spam folder. And if you were ever to look in your spam folder, you can see all of the failed attempts at this, the type of messages. And there's no real way to say, aha, that's a fake email, or that's a phishing email, what they're called. And just about any button that's inside of these emails are dangerous. They take your computer into a domino effect, where it's actually bringing you to the next thing automatically, next thing. And before you know it, your computer is starting to slow down, and strange things start happening. You start getting pop-ups that you've never gotten before. You start getting strange operations and performance that you've never gotten before. These are things that you should look out for that would actually indicate that something bad has happened after you've done that email. So as a general rule, unless you're expecting it, or unless you can identify that this is a confirmation, because there's lots of email confirmations out there, but that's what you should treat an email as, just a confirmation. You look at it, but don't click anything in it. The next rule of thumb is to never click anything in the email, but rather confirm that information someplace else. For example, if you are in fact receiving a UPS package and you get an email as a UPS confirmation message, don't click anything into that email. Go to ups.com, sign in, punch in your tracking number on the UPS website instead of clicking that button that is on that supposed UPS email. So in that way, you can always protect yourself from all kinds of hacks and all kinds of malicious content by not clicking on any buttons inside of emails if you are absolutely not sure of who actually sent it to you. Tip number 49, and that goes to that tip is know who your vendors are. Again, I'm going to say know who your vendors are. Now, this comes into play because let's say that you have your cable company or your phone company or someone, or maybe you're getting a warranty on your refrigerator or your washing machine or dryer. Many companies, when they're doing warranty service, they usually outsource the actual work to other local companies. I don't want to mention any names specifically, but there are lots of companies that offer home warranty plans that are legitimate. Okay, they offer these home warranty plans. They have somebody come out to your house that has some sort of credential to perform the work in your house. But you have to know what company is being outsourced. You have to know who the person is before they actually come out to your house, who they actually work for. Because if someone comes to your house and they say, yeah, I'm here to work on your washing machine, okay, you need to ask them, well, what company are you calling from? And you just patiently ask them, just wait right here. I just need to make a quick phone call and then I'll let you in. Leave them at the doorstep. Don't let them in yet until you've confirmed with the company that they actually use this other authorized company and their employees. Now, after you have the name of that company, you go back to that person, you ask them, you can even ask them on the phone ahead of time, what is the name of the technician or what is the name of the representative that is coming? Okay, and you go out and you ask them what their name is. You ask to see their ID. If all of that checks out, then everything is good to go. If anything seems off, then you need to turn around and say, I can't let you in. Another something else that people do is people will get a UPS uniform, and then what they'll do is they'll start following a UPS truck. And they'll say, yep, I have this package for you. Yep, there's my truck here. Now the real UPS driver, he's at somebody else's house, but he's just trailing him and just trying to, fool you into thinking. And he can push his way into the house. He can make it all kinds of things. So you need to verify who people are. If they have a package for you, tell them to leave it. You'll get it, and that you verbally authorize them to leave it. That is number 49. Number 50 is check for vendor vehicles. So this goes into that same kind of thing. So if somebody comes up to your house saying that they need to check the water, check their plumbing, or have some other type of thing, make sure that they're coming in some sort of commercial vehicle with the name of the company that is on the vehicle. It's kind of hard. It's a little bit hard for them to fake that. So make sure that make sure you're checking IDs and checking for an existing vehicle. And if they say that they don't have their vehicle, that they came in their personal vehicle, which sometimes happens, you need to know ahead of time of what that is. So that way you can protect yourself from home invasions, from people coming into your house, leaving some sort of bug or leaving some sort of something that they can tie back to you and potentially do you harm. We're always running out of time, but I do want to help. I do want to say that you can help us get a longer show because we need more sponsors. So if you have a product or service that you want to advertise, please reach out to us on the ComputerDoctorShow.com. My name is Aaron Moss, your host and technology expert. Travis Theory is not here today. I'm not sure if he's going to be joining us in the future. Tom Fairbanks is at the control board. Listen to us every Saturday, 2 p.m. We'll see you next week.
We hope you enjoyed this episode of the Computer Doctor Show. If you missed any part of this live broadcast, we post all our episodes online at ComputerDoctorShow.com. Remember, the world is getting more and more tech, and so should you. To stay current with technology, listen to the Computer Doctor Show each week for local and global tech insights. If you have suggestions for a topic on a future show, send us an email at info@ComputerDoctorShow.com.